My turn, Yugi boy.
What's going on today, guys? This is Jason, Duelist of the Rogue, and we have Rico here, and he played Unchained today. What were your matchups today, man?
Yeah, so I had round one was Blue Eyes, believe it or not, and then it was Drytron, and I got that. I got both those, and then I drew with Praying Kids, and then I lost to Orcus, which is the man behind the camera here.
What?
Yeah, but so I did kind of a standard build here with one dog, two of him. I mean, I think this ratio was perfect here for those guys. But as for the other ones, you always want to do definitely three of the other ones. Three Aruha, three Sarama, three Rikea. I played it a little bit differently just because sometimes I wanted to keep this as a control option to either, pop something on my opponent's turn so I can then get this guy back out to pop something of theirs, or that's usually what I try to do, is just kind of keep it as a disruption. Mm-hmm. If I were to leave any of them out there, it would definitely be him. But yeah, this ratio was fine. You need to see one of these at least. Sarama is definitely better when you're later game, but it's turn one. It's not the best normal, but that's okay. Then just hand traps. I went with 2 Ash, 3 DD Crow, 3 Skullmeister, and 2 Bell. Again, I was expecting to see a lot of graveyard reliant decks, and yeah, I think this worked out at 10 hand traps. It's a 41 card deck, so I thought, I want to at least see 1, maybe 2 hand traps. And I definitely did that most of the time. Sometimes it was just 1, and that's okay. But it worked out fine. And then for the Unchained spells and traps, that's not Unchained, but it's a damn good one. Abomination's Prison, your Searcher of the deck, and then your pop one of yours, pop one of theirs, and then your special one from hand or grave. That's important because in case you draw one of specifically the dog, which I drew a couple times today, the trap can at least bring him out, or any of the Unchained can bring it from your hand. It sucks to do that, but if you have to, you could do that. And that was a good ratio there. I did miss the continuous spell, but honestly, I found issues trying to keep the deck under 40 as it was, so I cut it just because it's not essential, because I did a going second build. Mm-hmm. So 3 Pot of Extravagance, because you have to. 3 Dark Ruler, no more. Again, I was afraid of the Drytron with the Vanity's Ruler. I know this won't do anything against Virtual World, but guess what? We're here today. But also, this helps out Dragoons for you, because it's a pain in the ass for this deck. You can censor that out if you want, but that's...
oh, no.
It is what it is.
The people need to know the truth.
They need to know. 2 Lightning Storm, because you can always do against back row, so it's good to just have in case, but it also acts like another Dark Hole. Yeah, Dark Hole was really good for me today. They definitely didn't expect it. It's not a once per turn. So if you usually start, by baiting out the negate with like a Lightning Storm, like, oh no, and then you at least have 2 and 2. But yeah, I think this worked out fine. I probably would have bumped maybe this to 3 or this to 3, but again, I wanted to have more hand traps to make them have a less optimal board with all those negations. So, and that's it for the main deck, actually. I'll go into the extra deck. You just need to do like 3 of the Rage, which is the quick effect on their turn with the special summon monster. 3 Anguish. This is your turn with any monster of theirs. 2 Abomination. And this one is really good, but you'll see a lot of people saying that this is not a good one because it doesn't recur you anything. But you still want to run 2, just because what I did at a player was I ended on an Abomination, and I kept a Rikea, and then I destroyed one of my other Unchained set spell traps on my turn. So that way I could special summon another one from deck, but also then it'll trigger his effect to pop. And also people forget that this end phase pops on both end phases, so that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah.
But you only really need, when you do Extravagance, you only need like 1 or 2 of these left in your extra deck and just 1 of this, because you run other stuff in your extra deck, such as 2 Nightmare Unicorn, because this is an IP Masquerena, into this because it's a dark, so that's cool. And what actually came up today, believe it or not, was kind of cool, was so these are my topologic packages. So what I did today was I used the quick effect Rage to go into the Bomber Dragon, because I had a Link 2 out. It was a Drytron matchup, and it was his Union Carrier. So I was like, cool, we're going to link with your Union Carrier and this guy to make the Bomber. Then I activated an Unchained card, the special, and popped the whole field when he tried to build his board again before he got to a Vanity's Ruler.
Oh, nasty.
So that was pretty cool. It helps you with that Link 4 life. This would be a second access code talker if I had one. But since I don't have one, you just run the one. But I recommend you just do a second one of this, because this helps you get over bigger stuff, and also just banishing everything. Sure, it hurts you too, but it banishes all cards on the field, which is really sweet. So
which is a really good out your Dragoon.
Exactly, yeah. So really, Dragoon hurts this deck because you're really destroying stuff, which again, Dragoon doesn't get affected by destruction or targeting, which really hurts. So you need to try to have other ways to do that. And again, people sometimes cut this so that way they can do like a Girsu. A Dingirsu, sorry, just because, again, you have an extra out to the Dragoon, but honestly, you're probably not going to get to 2 level 8s, because you can only special summon this guy once per turn anyway. So then you would have to exactly get both these guys out, which at that point, I'd rather just go for the access code talker, beat him down, or go for this instead of a Dingirsu, honestly.
Okay.
So that was my reasoning, because this keeps you as basically, it acts like a Regeki, multiple times on their turn, because it's not a once per turn to pop the whole field, which is nuts. So that does it for the extra deck. And then for the side deck, you got Imperial Order. I didn't actually see it once today, and I wish it would have come up, because that would have been nice against any shenanigans of, like, I don't know, Mystic Mine, or Orchestrated Return, or anything like that. Ice Dragon's Prison, because you have to. Another, not just Dragoon now, but it's also just really good against like dinos and all that other fun stuff. I only did the 2 in no.
Would you ever consider maining these?
I would, except the issue with this is I would consider if I was going first, because then I did 3 Torrential and 2 Heavy Stormbuster. If I was making a going first build, then yes, I would, and I would do like 1 or 2 Trap Trick and maybe bump this to 3 if I had a third, or even bumping this to 3, because if you're playing rogue stuff, you want to be able to pop things. So this is usually what I cited in for going first, because they want to play blowout cards, that are like, oh, I don't know, Cosmic Cyclone. So you could be like, oh, chain this, haha, gotcha. But yeah, that was the reasoning there. But this would be kind of the variation, just to switch it for going first if I wanted to make that my priority. Other good cards, I also have the 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, because you have to. It's like the best one of right now, I think. It's up there. 3 Lancia, and 3 Droll. These are just my high impact ones that I wanted to have, again, for the Drytron matchup, for the Virtual World matchup, or Dinos. And yeah, they're just high impact, because the moment you do it, they're locked out for the whole turn. Doesn't really affect you in any way, shape, and form at all, actually. So it's kind of nice to just be able to do that, and you're fine. But it did come up today, and like Drytron just he basically passed his turn after getting the 1 monster out, so that worked out just fine.
Gotcha. So are there any other changes or anything you would like to make?
I would, like I said, if I could afford the second one of the access code, because what's crazy is, this leads you to gain, like, that's why I chose to go going second, because you could do the Link 3 guy, and you just immediately turn into access code and boost him by the 3k to make him a 53. And then you can usually get this guy out, and that's game. Guaranteed.
Oh, nice.
Just because that's 53.
He's only 85. You can afford another one, right?
I know, right? No, this is supposed to be a budget deck, but obviously there's some things you aren't, like, that aren't that. Just because Ice Dragon's Prison, yada yada. I already had this stuff, thankfully. Yeah, I would probably consider Droplets, even though I know it doesn't have synergy with the deck. But you want to be able to negate those floodgate monsters, because if we had Virtual World here, I don't think I would have been prepared for that today. So those are the changes I would have made, but I definitely had a good time. I just lost once, but I unfortunately didn't make top 4 with that, but that's okay. I'll get them next time.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. This is Jason with Rico today. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. This is Jason, Duels of the Rogue, signing out.